Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Bernardo Moya. I'm the founder of The Best You, and today I have the pleasure of having a very quick chat with Johann Ilgenfritz, who is the founder and the CEO of UK Health Radio. Hey Johann, how are you?
Hi, good morning, Bernardo. I'm really well, thank you.
The reason I do these quick interviews and webinars is because obviously there's people that stand out in the industry of helping others and helping others achieve their dreams in this beautiful world that we love and we're passionate about, which is personal development and helping to inspire others. And Johann's obviously at the forefront. So I came across Johann quite a few years ago. She was recommended to me by Janie Lee, actually, made me aware of that and her program. She interviewed me. And obviously since then we've been connecting quite closely with Johann, and I've got to say it's an amazing story. So Johann, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got to where you are now, what you do.
Yeah, Bernardo, it actually started about 6 or 7 years ago. I was a fashion photographer. I'd been working as a fashion photographer for 20 odd years. And in 2011, first of all, in February, I had a heart attack of 2011. And then a couple of months later in June, while I was still wondering why I wasn't feeling any better after the heart attack, I actually got diagnosed with cancer. And it was quite a shock, actually, because I had actually up to then been actually really healthy. I'd always done a bit of sport. Being a fashion photographer, you're always on the go, especially when you were doing outside shoots. So it was a hell of a shock, actually, to be quite honest. I directly after being diagnosed, I immediately started radiotherapy. I did 2 radiotherapies all in all in the end. The whole time during the radiotherapy, I kept on asking myself, why am I not involved? Why am I not being animated to be part of this? And it went on. I did the radiotherapy, and in October of the same year of 2011, I got the all clear. I was cancer free, but it was weird. That was feeling that it's not helplessness, but that feeling of almost like not being part of the process stayed with me. I still had it, I still had it all the time, all the way through the radiotherapy. But you know what it's like. Life goes on. It did, unfortunately, actually, I have to admit, because in the next February of 2012, on my first checkup, my first post-cancer checkup, I was told that the cancer had returned with a vengeance, and that I had a life expectancy of about 12 months. And that was actually, it was a very profound day in my life, actually, because I know it doesn't say much for me, but for the first time in my life, I actually made a conscious decision. And that decision was not to die. My youngest son was almost 3. And I just could not see myself not seeing him turn 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever it was. So, and that's actually where my journey started. That's where the whole thing started. The radiotherapy, the option I hadn't worked. So I realized that I had to find another option, or options, whichever came first. So I started looking in the internet. That's where everybody tells you not to go when you're in my situation. But it really proved to be good for me. What followed was a very long time, a very dark time actually in my life, because the internet can be a very dark place as well, and there's a lot of doom and gloom out there. So I spent many hundreds of hours searching the internet, and one morning, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, I read a line that said, "Cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated alkaline cellular environment." And it was like, Well, it literally took my breath away, if as you can imagine. It was, I knew I had found a lifeline for myself. I woke my wife, I told her that this is what I'd found. And long story short, we started researching it, and I changed my lifestyle. I changed my nutrition. I became a vegetarian, first of all, then later on a vegan. I'm an alkaline vegan now, but changed a lot of other things as well. How to deal with stress. You know, in today's life, everybody's always telling you, yeah, you got to get rid of stress. You got to get rid of stress, but it's not possible. But you've got to learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, how to live with it, basically, which we did. And that was basically, this whole process was basically the start of UK Health Radio. Because I wanted to prevent other people from having to go through what I'd been through. And I wanted to create a portal where I could get as much good quality information, positive information, very important, together in one space where people from all over the world could access for free. And that was basically the start of UK Health Radio. So, I mean, since then, we've grown tremendously and everything, and we've added a magazine, and we've added Wiki Health, which is what it says, a Wikipedia of health. It's our newest project. It's only been up and running since, I think it's September or October last year. But yeah, it's been an exciting 5 years. I've been cancer-free now for almost 4 years. UK Health Radio has been going for 5. So yeah, exciting time.
Amazing, Johann. Amazing story. Thank you for sharing that. And then, but also kind of, I'm a great believer in you know, I know there's quite a few people that have written books about turning points, but I'm a great believer that you know, we all have those moments in life, you know, when there's a turning point that I don't know, takes us on a completely different route, a different direction to where we are, and you know, all of a sudden, you know, the eyes open and now we start looking at life differently. So I can only imagine what it must have been like, you know, to get that message from a doctor, you know, telling you how long you're going to live, and obviously you ultimately thinking, well, hold on a minute, no, I disagree with that. Let me come up with alternative options and look at alternative things. But listen, amazing what you've done with UK Health Radio. So UK Health Radio has been around now 5 years, did you say? 4 or 5 years?
In December it was 5 years. Yeah.
In December was 5 years. Amazing. Well, congratulations. And you've got such a fantastic lineup of presenters and programs in there. So again, what was your background as far as radio? Not much, can I assume, or?
Absolutely nothing. But radio has always been a very personal medium for me. I've always thought of radio. It's not like television where you can watch TV and eat and do all kinds of stuff, but somehow when you're listening to the radio, you're focused on it. And that's actually the reason why I chose the radio. I have this saying that radio goes in your ears and stays in your head. Yeah. And the information truly does. It's quite funny. At that stage, I had an agent here in London, a photographic agent, and I walked into his office one day and I said to him, "Do you have anybody that has anything to do with radio?" And it was literally like, "Yes, my friend's cousin's dog's uncle," kind of thing, you know. And he introduced me to this person who basically, he was just before retirement age, and he said to me straight out, "I want nothing to do with the radio as such, but I'll teach you what I know." And he did, gratefully, and that's how radio started.
Amazing. And so, do you want me asking, how are you now? How old are you now, Johann?
I'm 54.
54. Okay, great.
I was 46 when the process all started. It took me 2.5, almost 3 years to get rid of the cancer, all in all together. And yeah, but as I said, almost just over 4 years I've been cancer-free now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, this is one of the beauties. I think kind of what we do is that we keep coming across people that, you know, I say, you never know where it's going to happen. You know, you never know where you're going to get this inspiration. It might be a book, it might be an article, it might be a talk that you see It might be someone that says something, maybe something that you find on the internet. But the bottom line is that ultimately, I think that kind of I think a lot of people tend to give up quite easily. And I'm not saying in life, because I'm sure and I know everyone wants to live, but I'm saying that people tend to give up quite quickly on kind of what their road or their path is in life, you know. So kind of, okay, look, this is what I do. I work in this company. This is where I live, you know. And I think one of the things that we really need to focus is how can you become the best you know? You know, what is the best version of yourself? And well, you and I have a similar story, is on the fact that you started this 4 or 5 years ago, and you had no experience in running a radio, or, you know, you're a fashion photographer. Well, I had absolutely no idea running events, you know. So I started also in my late 40s, and in my early 40s, actually, I started running events. I had absolutely no experience in it. And then 10 years in, and now 5 years, I've been doing the Best You, and I've been doing the Best You Expo. I have absolutely no idea. I come back from a background of real estate, sales and marketing. So, you know, it's very far stretch. So what I'm trying to say with this is that it's never too late. It's never too late to become the best version of yourself. And I do believe that a lot of times people tend to kind of, like, you know, just stay in that place that they are. I'm not saying they've given up in life, but they have, if they don't actually do something about it. So, and I think that's what you bring. You bring beautiful things with UK Health Radio, and all the amazing experts and all the different subjects that you cover.
I totally agree with you, Bernardo. I think a comfort zone is where I was in for most of my life, is actually a very dangerous place to be in all aspects of your life, because it sort of takes the drive out of everything. I know my situation is different because I have a different motivation, and I still do. My body just grows cancer like grapes. So I will always be on this journey, because if I stop doing what I'm doing now, it will return. I know that. But the other part of it is, I must admit, for me, it's like a second life almost. And the people I have met in this life have been so incredible. You mentioned all our presenters, all experts in their fields, all incredible people that want to add value to as many people as they can. They use the radio to do it with, which I'm totally grateful for. Meeting people like yourself, who has created the Best You, that is unbelievable. We've been accompanying you now for the second year, the Best You. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been fantastic. It's I truly applaud what you have achieved, and the amount of people that you have helped is incredible. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, you're kind of like, you know, I was just sharing with you a joke of someone that asked me in America recently, says, you know, why are you doing this? And I said, I have absolutely no idea. And I remember, obviously, she didn't get my humor, and no, we have to work on that answer. That's not the right answer. I was just really joking. Yeah. It's a lot of work, but I mean, I think we do it because we believe in kind of what we do. I mean, listen, for me, it was a book. I read a book. It was Paul McKenna's book, Change Your Life in 7 Days. Mm-hmm. It really, I found some really interesting techniques in there. To be honest, I was looking for it more professionally and trying to help my staff communicate and become better communicators. But then I found a lot more. And then I think kind of once I've done my NLP training and you get into personal development, you really understand that kind of, you know, and as you get older, you really understand that you know how little you know, and you know how much you have to be open to learn new things and to explore. And you were just talking about comfort zone. I think that's one of the things that I permanently do, and I have to continue doing. You know, I have to continue to be pushing the boundaries of what is and isn't possible. And I think kind of running these events is always a challenge. I mean, you know, kind of I look at the work, we put 1 year into this, and then, you know, I've got all my staff there, they're like, you know, completely stressed out, but we love it, you know, kind of having the opportunity to have 140, 160 speakers there, so many different experts covering so many different ideas, and then just feeling the energy in the room and people walking around and, you know, like sponges, taking it. It's just really great. So, and then you were saying about the radio, but I particularly think there's nothing like meeting and connecting with people face to face. You know, I think nowadays with the internet and phones and WhatsApps and messages, we really underestimate the value of that human connection, in a time of potentially more communication than ever. There's actually less than ever. There's less empathy. And I think there's nothing like that, being able to connect and meet people face to face.
I can't agree with you more. That's why I love these kind of events. I love being on the floor. I'll be there both days as well, the whole time, because it's just the feedback I get from. We get a lot of feedback through the internet, through people emailing us and sending us voice messages and stuff like that. But face to face, on the floor, when you're speaking with people, and that is where I get the most energy and draw the most strength from. It's fantastic. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I love it too. And that's kind of, that's what it is ultimately that's kind of when we work so hard. Ultimately, because I was saying to my team, some of them, they come up and say, "Oh, Bernardo, are we going to have enough people showing up?" I said, "Listen, we've done everything we could do. We've pushed as much as we can. We put all the work, we put all the energy, all the love. And at the end of the day, ultimately, it will be what it will be." But when you're walking around and people come up to you and say thank you, and that's kind of what it is, and you got that opportunity to engage. So what I wanted to do, with your permission, Johann, is I'm simply very quickly going to share my screen. So for those that are going to be watching us at a later date, now this is UK Health Radio. So it's ukhealthradio.com. This is the web page. Where basically you can see the amazing lineup of speakers and programs that they have. They've obviously got all sorts of amazing opportunities there. And this is your magazine, isn't it? Triangle?
That's correct.
Tell me briefly about the magazine.
The magazine, I started originally to generate income with, to be honest. And it actually almost started out as a leaflet in the beginning, but we very, very soon, after we published the first leaflet, if I could call it that, we realized that there was this incredible interest in it. So we immediately started working on a magazine. Rafaela, my wife, she's the creative director for UK Health Radio. She's a graphic designer, has worked with some of the best people in the world, actually, especially in the newspaper area. And she took it upon herself to do this. And I think what she's created is she's taken a magazine that is, that is usually very clinical, and turned it into this absolute lifestyle feel magazine, filled with always positive, and incredible information. At the moment, we average between 60 and 80,000 reads per month. It's a monthly magazine, comes out every month. And
it's amazing. We've been publishing the magazine for 4 or 5 years. We're bi-monthly now. We used to do monthly. I know the work involved in that, but it's a very slick magazine with amazing content. Obviously, as you have all these fantastic speakers. So congratulations. Amazing. So well done. And obviously in such a relatively short period of time. When I work with people, I normally tell them that, things take time, because a lot of people expect things to happen overnight.
Yeah.
You've obviously put the hours and the work in, but you've achieved amazing things in 4 years. So congratulations. And then for those of you that are watching and want to come and see Johann, and his talk will be also recorded and available at a later date online. But basically, so if you go to thebestyourexpo.com, that's thebestyourexpo.com, and then you go to the UK site, and I'll take you there now. You will see, that's Johann's talk, which is on the 16th of February at 4 p.m. And also UK Health Radio is going to have a booth there throughout the 2 days, interviewing and meeting all sorts of great people. So we're delighted to have you both there. So as I said, if you haven't yet got a ticket to the Best Year Expo, if you haven't heard of the Best Year Expo, where have you been? You must have been in a cave somewhere, because we're all over the place. And we're delighted right now. I think we've got over 11,500 people pre-registered. We hope all of them will show up. I'm sure a few won't, but I hope we all do. And we've got an amazing lineup. We've got some fantastic opportunities there. I think one of the things I emphasize, we've got something for everyone. And we've got all these different breakout rooms, which show mindfulness and well-being, a better world, health and lifestyle, best for business, empowering women, very popular this year, passion to profit, So yeah, all sorts of great activities. We've got the main auditorium with Paul McKenna, Jason Vale, Marie Diamond. And so yeah, we've got fantastic stuff organized there. We've got more than 160 speakers. And I was saying this year, we've got so many women. I would probably say around 70% of the speakers are all women, which is great. I think women should take over. I'm ready. I don't know about you, Johann, but I think they do an amazing job, and we need more women at the forefront of everything.
I can't agree with you more. Especially by us as well. I think about 2/3 of our presenters are female as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. No. Well, great. Well, listen, they bring so much needed passion and love to what we do. So, Johann, listen, I want to thank you so much for your support. I want to thank you so much for being involved in the expo. Looking forward to your talk. I know from what I heard last year was amazing. It was very good and very deep, and I'm sure it will be this year too. So I want to thank you so much, and I'll see you in a couple of days' time.
Fantastic. Bernardo, thank you. I look forward to listening to yours as well, and see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bernardo. Bye-bye.